Assalamu alaikum students. Today we're going to be starting week 3 of distance learning for English. So let's start. This week we will focus on target vocabulary, spelling, comprehension, grammar, and writing. Let's begin our PowerPoint. Our first skill will be comprehension strategy, which is cause and effect. So, our learning intentions will be identify cause and effect relationships. Number 2, distinguish between cause and effect. Number 3, use cause and effect to infer and predict. Now, let's watch YouTube video to check our previous knowledge. What do you know about cause and effect from before? I would like it if you click on this link, watch the video, then come back to my video. Alright, I hope you watched the video. Now, let's do a recap. Cause and effect. Cause. What is cause? Now, cause is, it tells you why something happens. Whereas, effect is what happens as a result. Let's look at this. What do you see here? It's raining. That's the cause. What's the effect? Oh, the sunflowers are growing. So if I ask you, why did the sunflower grow? You will say, because it rained. So this is why it grew. It tells me why. Now, if I ask you, what happened after it rained? You will tell me, the sunflowers grew. This is what happened. It's the effect. It tells you what happens. Let's look at our signal words. We have words like so, as a result, because, therefore, consequently, due to, which caused. So, can you tell me a way you can make a sentence and use signal words in it? Make a sentence out of this and this, the little picture that you see, and use one of these. Let's see if you can do it. Let's move to our next one. Discussion time. Now, let's read the selection below. Take your reading fingers out and follow me. Rosa Parks lived in the city of Montgomery, Alabama. She lived there in 1955. In Montgomery, it was illegal for African Americans to sit in the front of a city bus. They had to sit in the back of the bus, or they could not ride. Rosa was an African American. Rosa did not agree with this law. One day, she was riding the bus. The bus was very crowded. A white passenger got on the bus and had no place to sit. The bus driver told Rosa to give him her seat. Rosa would not. The bus driver had Rosa arrested for breaking the law. When people heard that Rosa had been arrested, they stopped riding the buses. The bus company in Montgomery nearly went out of business because it lost so many passengers. Finally, the law was changed. Many people say that Rosa Parks helped start the civil rights movement in the United States. She showed how one person could make a big impact. She inspired others to protest laws they did not agree with. Now, a cause can have several effects. Read the cause from the selection below. On the lines, write 4 effects of the cause. Now what you gotta do here is, you have to read the cause. These are all causes. And you have to write at least 4 effects of the cause. You will find many causes in this selection here. Read it again. Read it in your heart and silently, and think about some effects. For example, let's show you an example. Cause. Rosa Parks would not give up her seat on the bus. That's one cause that I found from here. Now, I should write 4 effects for this. What happened when Rosa Parks would not give up her seat on the bus? Rosa showed how one person could make an impact. Number 2, people boycotted the bus company. Effect number 3, the bus company nearly went out of business. Number 4, Rose inspired the civil rights movement. Let's move to the next slide. Now this is something you have to do on your own. Each student should solve the worksheets shared by the teacher. Extra practice. The students will practice in quizzes. Now you have a link here. I want you to click it and go to quizzes and try to solve this quiz. Next. Let's go to the next slide. Feedback. Where do you think you are right now? Can you give me your feedback? Let's begin our skill 2, which is vocabulary. Now, our learning intention. Students will be able to define vocabulary words. Read the words in context in your Journeys book on page 556 and 557. So in these pages, you will see 10 vocabulary words. Let's begin. Number 1, politics. Politics is the work of government. Running for office and voting are part of politics. Number 2, intelligent. Smart people make intelligent decisions when they vote. Number 3, disorderly. Without a set of rules or laws, society might be disorderly or disorganized. Number 4, approve. People who run for office hope voters will like and approve of them. Number 5, polls. Voters go to the polls or election locations to place their votes on election day. 6, legislature. A legislature is a group of elected officials who make laws. 7, amendment. Only in 1920 did an amendment to the Constitution allow all U.S. women to vote. Number 8, candidates. Candidates are people trying to get elected to office, sometimes have public debates. Number 9, informed. Informed voters have learned about issues in order to decide how they will vote. Number 10, denied. People should not be denied or refused meetings with their elected officials. Let's move to our next slide. Now, let's look at the meanings. Intelligent, it means smart. Denied, it means not allowed. Approve, it means to agree with something. Polls, it's places where people vote. Can you see this in the picture? Then informed, knowing about the world, knowing about something. Politics, it means art of government. And disorderly, loud, rude, or unorganized. Legislature, a group of people who make laws. Amendment, a change made to a law. Candidates, people who may be chosen for something. Now check the definition of each word with a picture on the link provided. I want you to click on this link and look at each definition with a picture. It's gonna look something like this. Let's move to the next slide. On your own, use the vocabulary in meaningful sentences. Here, I'm asking you to write a sentence using the vocabulary word correctly. Can you make sentences? Let's move to the next slide. Feedback time. Where do you think you are? Assist your learning. Let's start our skill 3. Grammar. Negatives. What are negatives? A word that makes a sentence means no is called a negative, like nobody, nowhere, never, not. Using negatives. First, let's look at our learning intentions for today. Our learning intentions are using negatives correctly, proofread for proper use of negatives. Before we start, let's watch the video. Please click on this link and watch the video, then come back to my video. Alright, I hope you watched the video. Using negatives. A negative is a word that makes a sentence mean no. Words such as nobody, not, nowhere, and never are negatives. A positive sentence can be changed to have a negative meaning. Example: positive. I will vote on Tuesday. What do you think will be the negative way I can say this? I will not vote on Tuesday. Let's look at our thinking question. I want you to think about this. What word will change the sentence to a negative meaning? Does the sentence still make sense? Let's move to our next slide. Contractions. A contraction is a shorter way to say two words. Is not will become isn't. You're making it short. Rather than writing all of this is a not, you can write it in a simple way, which is isn't. Don't forget to put the apostrophe. An apostrophe will fill the space of the missing letters. I am. I am will change into I am with a little apostrophe since we cut off the A. We are. Were. She will. She'll. He is. He's. Do not. Don't. You have. You've. It is. It's. Did not. Didn't. You would. You'd. They are. There. Now, let's do some things on your own. Try to rewrite the sentences so it has a negative meaning. Now, look at the worksheet. Rewrite each sentence so it has a negative meaning. Everyone was at the polling station today. How can you say this in a negative way? Think about from 1 to 8 and solve this. Skill 4. Spelling, VCCV and VCV patterns. Learning intention. Recognize words with VCCV and VCV patterns. Use the VCV and VCCV syllable patterns to decode longer words. Now, before we start, what does V stand for? V stands for vowels. And what does C stand for? C stands for consonants. What are syllables? Every syllable must have a vowel. Syllables are words that has vowel in them, like snap. Snap has a vowel which is A, like basket, A and E. A syllable can also have two vowels, A and E, or if vowels look like E and A and I, O and A. Now, let's move to our next slide. What are VCCV patterns? VCCV is when a word has vowel, then consonant again, and then vowel again. When you see a word like this, you need to split them in half. CONTEST. Let's look at our second example. For basket, BAS, then you split it, KET, VCCV. As you see, the chipmunk got some food from a basket at a picnic. Try to decode picnic now. Now, what are VCV patterns? VCV is when there is one letter between the vowels, one consonant between two vowels. For example, bonus. O is a vowel, U is a vowel too, but in the middle we have a consonant, N. Same for visit. I is a vowel, I again is a vowel, then we have S in the middle, which is a consonant. When you get a word like bonus, move the letter to the right side of the word. This leaves the first syllable open. B and O, bow. Check if it is a word, leave it. Bow, nus. But if you get a word like visit, if it does not make a word, move the letter to the left side. For example, V-I-V. It does not make sense. I will add S to it. Viz. It. It makes sense. Visit. This makes the first syllable closed. S will close I. Let's move to our next slide. On your own. Grab your notebook and a pencil, then start decoding the words. These are your words. Try to decode them and label where is the vowel, where is the consonant, and if it is a VCCV or VCV. Skill 5. Writing. Cause and effect in informative writing using transitions. Our learning intentions are: identify the parts of a cause and effect paragraph. Writing a cause and effect paragraph. Let's discuss more about transition words for cause and effect. Now these are some words that you can add to your sentence of cause and effect to make it more interesting and more meaningful. For example, because of, with this in mind, in fact, in order to, due to, and for effects, we can use words like as a result, as a consequence, therefore, thus, consequently, hence, for this reason. These are called transition words. And they give the writing a smooth flow, and they help readers move from one point to the next. Now, to be a good writer, you have to focus on the following points. Look at this checklist. You have to make sure your name is on the paper, your title is there, handwriting is neat, punctuation is there, you use capital letter at the beginning of every sentence, which is very important. You use space between your words, your writing is creative, it makes sense, and you did your best, and you read over your writing, or you get a friend or your parents to check it out. What makes a good cause and effect paragraph? Key facts. They help explain the cause and effect relationship. or the events appear in a logical order. Vivid words. They show the reader that you are interested in the topic. Transition words. Connect ideas and sentences clearly and smoothly. Now let's look at some examples. When Esther was a girl, only men could vote. Her mother could not vote for president. How can you make this sentence even more interesting and smooth? You can do that by adding a transition word, like therefore. Look at the other two examples. Read them in your heart, silent reading, and think about it. How can you make this sentence even more interesting? Is there a way you can make it more interesting by using some other transition word other than as a result, other than then? Let's look at our next slide. Cause and effect relationships in the text. Now, how do vivid words look like? Vivid words. You can use vivid words like these and make your sentence look very interesting. Transition words. You can use transition words like therefore to make your sentence look more smooth. You can add some facts like she set up a whole house to help people who moved to Chicago from other countries. She also fought for good schooling for all. Those are some nice facts. Again, you can use some more transition words like thus, like therefore. And you can use some vivid words to make it more describing, like stirring speeches, kind-hearted and dedicated woman. You can add some adjectives to describe someone or something and make your writing look so interesting. Now, practice time. Take your journal and write a cause and effect informative essay. Your prompt is, which means your topic is, how COVID-19 virus affected people. Now use your knowledge from what we studied about cause and effect and transitions and write a nice and cute essay. Don't forget to take help from this information like using vivid words, using your key facts, using transition words to make your writing look more smooth and interesting.